Tom's really modest, but I've met so many YouTubers, and he is one of the hardest working, probably the hardest working YouTuber I've ever met as far as like hours put in every week.
Which is the next subject, because this is one thing I always love our motivation segments. It is from you are 21 and you're already crushing life. And yes, it happened later in life for us. You now 20. You all are.
I started when I was 24. He started when he was like 14 or 15.
Well, to make it clear, YouTube wasn't a thing when you guys were 14, right? YouTube wasn't really popping off.
I think I've got a similar story to you, but just a little later.
Yeah,
like, it was
exactly.
close. Yeah,
But
like when I was 16, YouTube was already a thing I was involved in.
Yeah, there you go. So when I was like 13, I was like getting really into YouTube. By the time I was 14, I was like sinking hours in. By the time I was 16, I was like skipping school to make YouTube videos because that's just all I cared about. And so, but I don't like to say that I work hard, because compared to, let's say, somebody who does manual labor, what I do is not hard. I say I work a lot.
There's a difference between working hard and knowing how to delegate.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Like you still work a lot. You're not like necessarily slinging, sandbags over your shoulder. But You're still working.
Yeah, and it's not to discredit like blue collar labor. It is, you are still managing. How many employees do you have under you?
Contractors. Okay, they don't have health insurance, but like 8.
Yeah,
8. You are still at 21, and resonate that with yourself. It's like he is in charge of 21 or 8 people at the age of 21.
To be 21 and understand the actual difference between a contractor and a W-2 employee.
And the tax
that says enough already.
Yeah, that means he has an S corp and he's figuring out life at a very
I do have an
young
S corp, yeah. But to be clear, a lot of this is from my mother. I would not fucking know anything. My mom's like a fucking super Bulgarian genius mastermind.
he puts like 60. Look at his channels. Look at the 3 channels he runs. He puts like 60 plus hours of concentrated, focused effort in every week, no matter what.
And that's probably
he calls me sometimes and is like, oh, like he got a strike once and he couldn't upload for a week, and he's like, oh, like what do I do? I can't upload. What do I do? Because he's just like so.
Do I die?
Oriented.
Well, that's the only thing I really like. Truly, like I care about like people and friends and stuff. But like my motivation in life is like solely towards my job. But to be clear, when we say working hard, the hard work is like, I sit in my fucking bedroom. I wake up at 10 a.m., 11 a.m.
Look at Twitter.
Sometimes 1 p.m. I look at Twitter for what's happening. I record a video. I'm recording audio. I'm writing something for like 4 or 5 hours. I'm streaming for 4 or 5 hours a day. Like, it's not like insane backbreaking work.
No, but
the creativity and what you do, like if you stop doing what you did on a 9 to 5, as like in your own mind, right? 8 people would be out of a job.
Yeah, well,
like
that's
the stress of having their entire livelihoods, like having a small like football team's worth of people, and relying on.
Well, that's like the biggest point of stress for me is just like part of the reason I want to do very well is like the money I make is proportionate to the money they make. So like, and like one of my employees has a kid. They all have like houses they take care of. One of my buddies has a girlfriend he supports. So it's like the more money I make, the more money they make, and so that's why I have on some of my stuff, we do a percentage model as opposed to anything else. Like on my second channel, my editor gets 40% of the revenue that I make because it's as hard as he works, it's as much money as he's willing to make. And so now he used to work for like the feds, just doing like websites and stuff. And now he makes like $10,000 a month roughly on average working for me. And he works hard. I mean, he's working like, 10, 12-hour days editing YouTube videos every day. But once again, like the work we do is like, it's like I turn on a camera, I talk about bullshit that I'm interested in anyway. And also as far as like what I got into, like you can talk about like, oh, we got into such a young age, but like I came in at the right time. I was exposed to the right things early on. Like there are circumstances that I encountered that made me primed to do this.
I will say don't discredit your work ethic because you are, if you individuals out there, it is like blue collar versus what he does, what we do. It is a completely different situation. Like, let's say you have a family. Your sole responsibility is like my wife and kid or just my child. And you're like, okay, I just have to take care of that individual. You just said it your best. You have to take care of 8 employees, make sure they're taken care of with contractors, with good.
Oh, look at him. He thinks he's people.
Yeah. Everybody who works for me is fucking subhuman, just so you guys know. Okay, listen, you will never.
Why is he sitting at the table?
Quiet.
But you're
Shut up. Start filming. Lucas, start filming.
Show dick.
There he goes. He starts going.
Lucas, show dick. Let me see dick.
All my contractors are also part of my blood cult where we do blood brothers and then we show each other our dicks to make sure that we all have blackmail on each other. So to be clear, if I ever fire them, they're going to have ample opportunity to destroy my life
But you're still crushing, like,
or make my life.
I've gotten home at 6 a.m.
I've got a big weird dick.
From
It kind of looks
filming-
like it kind of looks like a zebra or like a
Tom is a
giraffe kind
freak,
of thing.
dude.
Very
He's a weird.
specific.
Yeah.
He's so weird. I've gotten home at 6 a.m. from filming all day with him, and I go to sleep, and I'm like, oh, I feel like shit. This is horrible. And he's like, oh, he goes to record another video and micromanage like 4 other videos at 6 in the morning for the next 4 hours.
But even you just said I got home at 6 a.m. and it continued to work. And I will say a lot of people in this job, or if they want this as a job, they don't understand the amount of work that goes in behind the scenes to make it successful. Because none of this was just handed to any of you. It's not, my favorite saying is like, you don't ride an elevator to the top. You take the stairs if you want to actually make it to the top. The elevator, shit's not going to mean anything and it's going to fail. Take the stairs, learning through process. That is how you will be successful. And you guys, even at young ages, which I fucking love, is what you're crushing at right now.
Yeah, and you have to choose your path. Like you can build up on the side while you're doing another job, or you can dive in. Like I got my master's degree, became an elementary school art teacher, quit my job on June 18th, had backlogged like 8 videos, dove in completely, and at the 2-year mark of me having my channel, I was down $20,000 cumulatively. 6 months later, I broke even, and then now, I have a profitable channel. But most people, 18 months or 2 years in, I'm down 10,000, I'm down 15,000, I'm down 20,000. It's not working. In 2 more years, I'm going to be on 40,000. You know what I mean? You start getting negative.
So the reason that I feel lucky is because when I was, 13 years old, I was learning like Photoshop basics and stuff like that. And it's all from like YouTube tutorials, which is why college felt so worthless to me. Because when I was 18 and 19, I was in school and they were like, instead of, I'm paying like $30,000 a year to be at this like private liberal arts college. And what they're showing me is the same YouTube tutorials that I was learning when I was 13 years old.
I have my master's. They show YouTube
Literally
videos.
in fucking school, YouTube tutorials is what I was learning. And I was like, how do you not know Photoshop basics if you're interested in media at 18 years old? Like
It's one of the reasons I dropped out.
Yeah, it's just fucking stupid. And I think if I had gone for something different, like, I don't know, business or something, maybe that could have been
No,
more.
I was going.
I promise you,
No?
business is no different.
Really?
I was going to school for business pre-law at Campbell, and it was the same fucking shit.
I get to
which is
sit
why I
down
dropped
with
out.
business people, like masters in business, and I'm like, what are you fucking
Well, I guess I just don't
talking
want to preach to people about college being bad because I'm sure if you're like a doctor or something, there's probably
there-
a reason
no,
to go
I
to
would
school.
prefer my doctor have gone to college.
I watched a YouTube
sometimes
video
you don't
on
get
this
it.
open heart surgery.
Sometimes you
I
get a
got
doctor.
it,
Sometimes you
bro.
get a doctor that learned how to fix a subdural hematoma on Discord, and that's kind of a dark thing. But to be clear, like I had like 5 years kind of a head start where like I was living with my parents, I wasn't paying bills, I had a lot of free time to just do this shit.
Stop discounting yourself. You said I had a 5-year head
Well,
start.
I'm proud of what I did. I'm just saying it's like, it's not all me. Like me and Brandon come from nice families, good families.
Yeah.
We had like a decent
Great
situation.
parents.
If my dad had been like me or something, I imagine it would have been tough to do YouTube videos.
You're like, this tutorial's way harder to watch.
Or you could have been really good at Sonic fan fiction and done that whole fucking song and dance.
That's the other route you can go down sometimes, certainly.
Yeah, essentially
What's
what you're
your-
getting at. People make so much about like racial privilege and stuff, but I think parental privilege is the biggest privilege in the world, and we're blessed. to
Having
have
good parents
very
like
great
changes your fucking life.
I don't even.
a big
My
deal.
favorite, I say this constantly, the best gift my parents ever gave me was the business mindset. Because I came from a family of entrepreneurs. Like they really were about that life. And like I was told from day, and to a degree it might be like mildly scarring to most children today. But like I was told, like, hey, if you work for somebody else, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
You will own your own business. You will do your own thing. You will, and I'm like fucking like 9 years old. I'm like, I just like Star Wars, dude. Like I don't know.
Pokemon.
But like being taught how
Pokemon
to.
W9?
Yeah, they showed you the path, right? That's
Yeah.
that's invaluable. Most people don't even think that the path is possible.
And it's a mindset, like seriously, because there are people who just think like their entire lives, public schooling and everything, they're just berated with get enough education so you can get a good enough job and retire at 65 with a pension of a reasonable amount so you can maybe make enough money that you don't die starving.
That's the dream.
Well,
That's the American
Their
dream now.
and you're like,
I think there's a false sense of security people get in like herd safety where they think like if I just do all the right steps, if I do well in high school, if I go to college, if I get a job, I'm going to be fine. And for some people it does work out, but it seems increasingly for people in my generation, it doesn't work out. It doesn't always work out to go the basic path. And I'm not saying everybody should be a fucking YouTuber, but I'm just saying there are other options. There's no shame in like trade school and stuff like that. I know kids who went to trade
school is the way to
and
go.
are doing
100%
super well.
trades.
If YouTube didn't work out, I would just start welding or something, or like driving trucks, because those kids do super well. Kids I went to high school with who are like in trades are making more money than the kids who got college educated will ever make.
And I'm 10 years post high school. The trade people are killing it. They have homes. They're starting
Destroying
families.
it.
They have kids. Most of the college people are like trying to.
They're waiting tables. Yeah.
You are spending a lot of money to delay when you have to face the real world. That's what college is, 50% of the time nowadays. But like trade school, stuff like that, like if you have an actual marketable skill that real companies need, like if you know how to fucking weld and you're really good
Become
at
a
it.
fucking journeyman.
Jesus Christ, if you're 21, right? Like you can fucking get a really good paying salary at that. If you're just a really good TIG welder, fuck yeah, go for it.
You ever had a pipe break in your house? Had to call a plumber? How fucking expensive it is?
Where do you think that money goes?
Right?
This is like
Yeah.
even you is a perfect example of you were teaching art school,
Elementary school.
mastered,
Yep.
and then you're like, now I'm going to do something completely different. And you still say you're not comfortable in front of a camera. You just learned that trade.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of the like camera guy, editor type.
Yeah, because that's what you started with. You're like, I'd rather be behind the camera than in front of it. But you're like, I have to make this work by being in front of the camera. And now you're successful in that. You have fucking fantastic docs about it. And that was all self-taught.
I'm actually curious now, where did you start with YouTube? What made you get into YouTube originally? Like what made you get in front of the camera?
What was the catalyst for it?
Yeah.
It's kind of dark. My brother passed away September 4th of 2019, and that was the first Thursday. I was a school teacher, and he was a technical sergeant in the Air Force, and he had a heart attack. And I just remember after he passed away, it was
Really?
like yeah,
Wow.
it was very
No
devastating to my family and everything. And I was thinking like, damn, my brother did everything right. You know, was a technical sergeant, had his degree, and he was just living out like, oh, I can retire in like 6 more years or 5 more years. And I remember him saying that all the time. Then he had a heart attack, and I was like, I had gotten my master's degree, I hated it. And then when I was a teacher and I hated it, I was just thinking of my brother, like, damn, if I die when I'm 34, do I want to die as a teacher or do I want to die having, tried other things? And so there was just one Sunday in January where I went out and filmed a video about a massage parlor that was giving out hand jobs in my local town.
Just like your brother would have wanted.
What's your brother's name?
Kyle Delane, yeah.
Kyle. You're like, Kyle would want this.
Yeah. This is for you, Kyle.
I was actually going to ask about that earlier when we were at lunch because it was just very prominent.
Yeah, this is the hourglass has his ashes in it. And
Well,
this is
thank you for Kyle's service.
January.
That's fucking amazing for what he did in the Air Force.
Yep, the Air Force.
What was it?
The most
What was the
badass
job?
branch. What?
Dude, he's the smartest
Air
branch.
power.
I will fucking, as a fucking dumbass that got shot, if you're wanting to go to any branch, the Air Force is the smart choice every goddamn time.
Glass Los Angeles.
Yeah, but I was just looking at like where my life was going, and I'm like, I don't know. The teaching thing wasn't for me. I taught in the hood, and I never gave myself the opportunity to try something like YouTube because I was always going to school to be a teacher.
And you're not taught that mindset. It was like, try something new, try something adventurous, and try something out of your comfort zone was super foreign to you.
Yeah, my parents did not accept it at all because my mom's a teacher. My dad's the head of the IT department at the dental school in Baltimore. So they're like very well-to-do, and they're still like, hey, you should follow this job application to this day.
My mom wants me to go to college. Yeah.
Yeah, like to
Really
this day, our parents would be like, hey, you should go to this to get this degree, or what about this job?
My dad actually gets it because he watches a lot of Joe Rogan, so he understands YouTubers as like a concept, and he's gotten more into it, and he knows like some of the people that I watch, like he likes like Tucker and Alex Jones and stuff like that. So he kind of gotten into that stuff, but
It's changed in the last like 5 years.
it has.
really
And my dad is like 50, and he's like Gen X, but he's like younger Gen X, so he's like just on the cusp of like he gets like YouTube stuff, he gets that kind of shit.
Yeah.
My mom is from Bulgaria. She's an immigrant. She fucking YouTube shit is like, she's like, you did what? You like filmed with this Brandon guy about some like retard or something, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, that is okay.
You film with retard? Why you do this?
Yeah, and she's still like ideally I think would like me to go to
Jesus,
school.
no wonder they won space race.
Das vidanya, Torgiton. But yeah, so she still wants me to go to school, but they are definitely proud of me, and your parents are proud of you, I know, and they're glad that we're succeeding in a field, even if it's to my mother, not going to Dartmouth probably would be what she wanted me to do, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
I'm definitely super thankful. But yeah, I think my brother thing was the catalyst for me to like come on camera more. I actually, fun fact, I went to the Carroll County Career and Tech Center, which was like an alternate school for art kids in high school, and I originally joined the video production class, but when I found out I had to be on camera, I dropped out and joined
No shit.
and joined the print production. That's
The
how
fucking irony of that.
that's how uncomfortable I was. But still, you can kind of see it in the nature of my content. Most of it is like interview based, directing the focus to other people.
I can say for sure though, when I film with him, like being on camera is so draining for him. Like, like by the end of it, you're like, I'm gonna fucking go sleep for 10 hours.
Yeah, I'm pretty introverted.
I do see it that like I can see it even just in unsub. Like for me, like sometimes a lot of my content is like, you know, desk video stuff, and I know it's the same for you. It's like unless I have a script, like it is so fucking draining to be on alone. But when you have an interview or when you're talking to other people, especially like when I'm amongst friends, like people, like my favorite people on the fucking planet, like it's easier to just like let yourself out of your shell and just talk.
Yeah.